Hey, what's up? I've got something pretty awesome to show you. It's usually the case with my videos. Anyway, let's just get right to it, right? Yeah. So, what I've got here is my Toshiba laptop. Newly fixed, yet again. This time it's not the touchscreen. But, yeah, I got a dual boot thing going on here. I'm gonna boot it up and show you something pretty awesome. So you can see here I have a PS4 controller. I actually do not have a PS4. I just bought the controller for the sole purpose of using it as a computer controller, because I thought this would make a great gaming PC controller because of the fact that it has a touchpad in it, it's Bluetooth, and it has all the buttons that you would need for pretty much any game system that you can think of to emulate. So, let's go ahead and test it out. So, yep, I'm gonna log in here. And now you can see that I've got Bluetooth controller here. I've actually got to turn on the thing though first. So, first I press the PlayStation button. As you can see, it's now a solid blue light. So that means it's synced up with the computer and Windows. Yeah, I have an anime girl. Don't judge. Anyway. So I click on this up here. SCP server, that's the tool. Then it does that. And now, when I move my finger on the touchpad, it moves the mouse. You can see the mouse moving up there, and I'm not touching the laptop in any shape, way, or form. Way, shape, or form. So I could show you, I'll show you an emulator, what an emulator does with it. It works perfectly on every emulator that I've tried. If you go to, games here, and I could show you Ocarina of Time, but I gotta load it up in Project 64. There we go. Okay. It's easier to just touch the screen. I've been trying to use the trackpad on the controller. It's actually quite difficult than you might think, but especially when you're holding a camera. But here's a good example of how the analogs work. So if this is extremely difficult. The start button is actually set to be options on the, but you can see I'm hitting it. So there's your proof that it works. And I can move Link around the room, the analog stick. It works perfectly. Like, you wouldn't think that it wasn't designed for the game. Like, if you play it, you get used to it right away. And then the right analog stick is actually the C buttons. So, like, C up would be like that. Let's see, I can move around. I can actually... And the Z button, I think I made it R1. Did I? Yeah. So the R1 is Z, R2 is R, and L2 is L. Yeah, Navi. I can move around. Very nice. It works really good. Just to show you how I actually do this, I'm using that SCP server thing. And, basically it just takes this stuff. You just download this thing called DS4 Tool. I think I got the latest version of it. It's not a beta version. So you don't have to worry about all that shit. But like, yeah, DS4 Tool. It has the SCP server. It's got DLL files and all that good stuff. SCP driver, I believe you need to run that initially before you can use it. But after that, I've been able to just launch SCP server from the desktop. I have it as a shortcut. But beforehand, before you launch SCP server, you make sure the controller is connected to Windows in general, like through here, I'll show you, in case you don't know what I'm talking about. Like, you want to make sure it's connected through this thing. As you can see, it's recognized as a wireless controller. And of course, it's showing the Xbox 360 controller and the icon there, even though it's not an Xbox 360 controller. Actually, how this thing actually works is it fakes the computer into thinking that this is a 360 controller. So it's kind of weird how that works. You're kind of using a utility that's used on top of a driver overlay or something. I'm not even sure what I'm talking about anymore, but, you know, that shit happens. Anyway, so yeah, it pretty much works. It's pretty cool. It's the PS4 controller working, touchpad works on the, yeah, it's pretty cool. You can see the little mouse moving up there, and, one thing that is supposed to work but doesn't for some reason is the, like, if you're on the internet, and if you just want to use the controller as a mouse for whatever reason, I don't know why you'd want to do it, because it's not a very good mouse, but, like, if you type in, you know, a search, you're supposed to be able to, it's supposed to be a multi-touch touchpad. At least that's what I've read, but when you try and use it, it doesn't scroll up or down pages. However, when I go into the settings here, okay, that's what the driver looks like for the thing. Go to hotkeys. It says here, you can scroll up and down if you put 2 fingers up or down on the touchpad. So it implies that the PS4 controller has multi-touch in its touchpad, but it doesn't work. So, one minor wiggly duke, but other than that, it's pretty awesome. So yeah, I assume you can support up to 4 controllers with this. I only have one PS4 controller. This particular tool only seems to recognize PS4 controllers. I tried using a PS3 controller on it. It didn't really work. It tells you nice information like your battery life. You can also charge your PS4 controller in your computer. And it's